of breaking news live to Stephanie Smythe at the Breaking News Desk with the latest.
And Christina, we now know that impaired driving charges have been laid in the fatal collision yesterday that took the life of York Regional Police Constable Travis Gillespie. We just received this information from Peel Regional Police. Now, York Regional Police officers laid the charge against the 23-year-old Markham man after the collision that took the life of Constable Gillespie in Markham yesterday morning at 6 a.m. They say that 23-year-old Markham man was taken into custody by York Regional Police officers right after this crash, transported to a trauma center, his injuries considered minor, and a third driver involved did not sustain any injuries. But Peel Regional Police Major Collision Bureau did take carriage of this investigation, and they have charged 23-year-old Ho-Ju Zhu from Markham with impaired operation causing death and dangerous operation causing death. Now, he was released from hospital and then appeared for a bail hearing before the Superior Court of Justice in York Region yesterday, September the 14th. Police are still appealing to anyone for any information who can help them with this collision or investigation that took the life of the York Region police officer. So again, impaired charges laid in this fatal collision that took the life of York Regional Police Constable Travis Gillespie. Okay, let's go live now to our Steve Ryan to talk more about this. And Steve, we had heard all along that there is the possibility of impaired driving charges being laid in this case. We know that the person involved, 23-year-old Markham man, now charged, appeared in court on that bail hearing. And now we wait for his next court appearance, which we aren't sure when that is just yet.
Sadly, Steph, yesterday when I was reporting from the scene, I had this gut feeling that this was going to be a very real possibility with regards to an impaired charge. And I say this because at that time in the morning, most often you talk to any patrol officer that's out there early in the morning, late at night, oftentimes when you have erratic driving behavior that causes a collision like that one, it often is as a result of an impaired driver. Now, impaired driving on its face is not dangerous driving, so that tells me that the investigators have got other evidence to lead them to believe that this guy's driving was erratic above and beyond his ability to operate being impaired. So there has to be some sort of evidence, some witness accounts as to the manner in which this person was driving beyond that of the impaired driver. So how this would have unfolded yesterday was based on information that the police would have received at the time when they attended the hospital. They would smell the odor of alcohol perhaps on this 23-year-old man's breath. There'd be other indicia of impairment, bloodshot eyes, slurred speech. At that point, they could form reasonable grounds to believe that that driver was driving his car while his ability to do so was impaired. They are then able to make a lawful demand for a breath test, and if that person in hospital yesterday was so incapacitated that he couldn't meet that demand, and it doesn't sound like that was the situation with his case, but if that was the case, well, then they can get a warrant to get a blood sample taken. But they do not need that. All they need is the evidence of the driving and the indicia of impairment. It sounds like that's what they've got. So, Steph, I'll send it back to you for now.
Steve, I just have a question for you. I know he appeared in Newmarket Court for a bail hearing. It doesn't say if he was remanded or anything. It doesn't say a next court date just yet. What typically happens after a bail hearing in this kind of circumstance?
Well, his first appearance would have been today, so I'm going to suggest he did not even have his bail hearing today. It was most likely slated for bail, but given the fact that this only happened yesterday, it was most likely adjourned to another day, so I'm going to suggest he's still in custody. His bail hearing will most likely come up within the next few weeks, if not a month, and then he can make the application to be released from custody. But as of right now, based on the offense that was committed or alleged to have been committed, the Crown can ask the person to be detained in custody until a bail hearing, because the perception of the community is that justice needs to be done. The perception of justice needing to be done. That meaning that if this guy was to be released yesterday based on what he's accused of, it wouldn't be good.
Well, you know, Steve, it does say his bail hearing was yesterday. So the same day he was released from hospital, and then he had the bail hearing in Newmarket.
Yeah, so that is procedure whereby if the police are seeking for somebody's detention or they want conditions on his release, it'll be called a bail hearing. It doesn't necessarily mean that bail hearing will happen right away. Now, it could have been done over the telephone, and it's just a clerical error whereby they forgot to record what went on. But I suspect that it wasn't done yesterday because it was just too soon after the occurrence for him to have a proper bail hearing where he's got to get a lawyer, he's got to prepare some sort of argument as to why he should be released, and the Crown needs time to prep as well if they're going to ask that he be detained into custody. So it does say bail hearing. Most likely did not happen yesterday.
Okay, gotcha. Steve Ryan, thanks so much. And we'll continue to follow this breaking news. Again, impaired charges have been laid in the fatal collision that took the life of York Region Police Constable Travis Gillespie.